Looking back, I think one of the most important skills that I ever developed through my journey, it wasn't discipline or self-confidence, which both are very important, but it was self-awareness, because self-awareness taught me how to see myself, the way I see myself, the way that I see the world, like realizing that my perception, my reality, it wasn't the same that the perception or reality of someone else. That changed my whole life. So yeah, I would say self-awareness, super important. Before, I was mainly living in autopilot and whatever, well, this is how I am, this is how I live, this is what I do, right? But now I feel like self-awareness is something that helped me to understand the why. Not to assume things, assume that I am who I am because it's just the way I am, or why I'm this way, why I live here, why I feel this way, why I don't feel good, why I don't know, why I feel like I'm not having a purpose, I'm lost, why, just the question why, the root cause of everything. That's what I feel like it changed my life, the way that I see the world, I see myself. I think like this awareness helped me to stop living in autopilot. By the way, I have a video talking about how I stopped living autopilot, which I recommend you if you're interested in changing your life too. You probably will resonate. And I'm not gonna lie, it was not easy. It was very uncomfortable, because this is the moment that you realize, well, this is all the things I've been avoiding myself about, my fears, want to be liked, and so I became a bit of people pleaser, patterns that I didn't like about myself. So yeah, it was not easy, but at the same time I feel like it's part of the journey, it's part of life. Being able to observe myself, because for me, being aware of myself and aware of surroundings is becoming an observer. Like I'm observing, like I'm not part of who I am. Like, not who I am. I'm not part of. I can zoom out from myself and see, like I'm in a movie, and I see myself as a main character and see how she's behaving and her patterns, the issues in her head, her feelings. Because when I'm so into myself, I'm living in myself, I forget everything, so I just get too self-centered, and I'm just like, oh, I'm unhappy, I'm suffering, this is hard, this is blah blah, so I think that's becoming the observer of the whole situation. And yeah, it's tough and it's very uncomfortable, because in the beginning it's very painful to see how much you've been suffering, and you don't have to, but it is, and I'm glad that I was able to do that, honestly. The biggest shift happened when I stopped identifying myself with every feeling and every emotion. And that was the biggest shift and the biggest outcome from this, of becoming the observer of my life. So what it really taught, like in general, what awareness taught me, it's being what drains me, what energizes me, what matters to me, what I want in my life, and what I'm truly avoiding, because that's what I talked in the beginning. Like, I didn't know that I was avoiding all these things, and I was having all these problems inside myself, within me, that it was not about others, because I used to complain so much about the place, the people, and everything outside of me. There's also something that I want to mention because this is part of my reflection about self-awareness and how it was, because it was so important for me. It's not about self-judgment. I feel like many times we are our worst enemies and we judge ourselves so much. Like, I tend to be very critical with myself and with people in general because I feel like I'm very critical with myself, so I do it with others too. So I'm a very big forgiver, and I forgive and I understand, and I'm very empathetic and I have compassion. But it's true that I'm not gonna lie, I'm very critical person. I have high standards, and I want people to meet those, and I want myself to meet those first. So I become very judgmental. So I feel like that's the main thing that I think that for me was learning to being aware of. That's why I like to call it self-awareness as a self-observer or observer, because it's like I'm not identifying myself with that. I'm not that person. Okay, it's just I'm checking. I'm feeling something. I'm not that feeling. I'm not that emotion. I'm not that thought. It's just a thought. So help me to to make it smaller the problem, no make it too personal. And yeah, self-judgment, I feel like this is one of the big things. I'm learning to not confuse. Okay, I'm doing this, and I'm feeling this way, but I'm not judging myself, but having compassion, and I'm basically learning to accept that, okay, I'm human, I feel these things, these emotions, I feel them, but these emotions, these feelings, they're gonna pass because it's not me. It's the moment, it's right now. But it's not, I am sad. It's, I'm not sad. You know, it's just a feeling and it will pass. That's also something that the biggest thing that I also want to mention in all the book I was thinking in this reflection about self awareness. Yeah, so myself, I've been learning that. And learning to not judging myself and not judging people, I think it's crucial. Well, I also want to clarify that being aware of the things around me and of my feelings, emotions, my thoughts, my problems, my surroundings, people, it didn't solve my problems, didn't fix my life. But I want to say that even that nothing's perfect, perfection doesn't exist. It really helped me to understand myself, and by understanding myself, I feel I could improve my life. Because sometimes I feel like we feel lost because we don't know what we want, we don't understand who we are. And when we can see ourselves and observe ourselves with compassion, we can see, okay, maybe this is not for me, this is good for me, improve our lives, and that's what awareness did to me.